Hi everyone, I'm Shireen.
I'm Abby, and welcome to the Realistic Backpacker podcast.
We met while traveling Southeast Asia, and now she can't get rid of me.
For years, we have made travel our entire personality, and now it's time to share it with you too.
So join us as we bring you into our world while keeping it as realistic as possible.
This is your weekly dose of travel tips and tricks.
And this week, we're going to be talking all about backpacking the Philippines.
Woohoo! Please like and subscribe and share us on your socials.
Let's get into it. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm still in Siargao. Still in Siargao, but leaving in 3 days, I guess.
No,
And
I
I have
can't
to make
believe that.
I know, I can't believe it's been a month I've been here already. Like, it's crazy.
I just
It's
literally
also
can't
been
believe that.
so nice to be in one place for a month. Like, even the idea of packing up my backpack to fly home, I'm like, oh, can't be arsed, pack it up. Like,
Isn't
oh,
that crazy?
yeah, when, like, obviously up until this point of like moving every like 3 or 4 days for however amount of
Yeah.
years.
Crazy. But you know what? Nice. And nice that you kind of like hit that point. I feel like that was the point I hit like, well, 18 months ago now, I guess. But
God, I can't believe that long
um
ago.
I know it's crazy, right? But like nice that you've been able to find the happy medium and also have built that community you were so trying to strive for.
No, completely. And like honestly, it's been amazing. And like I'm just like want to come back already. Like I can't wait to be back. But I am actually genuinely very excited to go home and then obviously move to London for summer. Like I feel like it's exactly what I want, what I need, and yeah, I just can't wait really. Honestly.
Yeah. Also, guys, we have never, I know you said this before, but anyone that's just listening to this episode, we have never been in the UK or Ireland together. So this is going
Which
to be a
is
first
so
for us as well.
crazy. I literally can't believe that we're both going to be in the UK at the same time.
It's going to be so weird.
And then we have to pick a weekend for me to come down to Devon.
Yeah, and then obviously I'm going to be in London for 10 days. Well, we're going to the F1 and then I'll be in London for like a week. So
Oh, really?
we've talked about this. We're going to Wimbledon.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I completely forgot. Okay, great. See you there. You stay with me.
Yeah, I can do. I don't care.
Okay, great. Completely forgot. Like
So yeah,
obviously I knew we were going to the F1, but I forgot about the like
the
continuation
second
of
bit.
that. Yeah, the Wimbledon part. But yeah, great.
But also, I think the F1 is going to be so fun as well because obviously it's like a festival and like we've never done a festival together either.
Yeah, I mean we're camping, right?
Yeah, we have
Like
camped
full on
before though, so
tent.
that's fine.
Oh yeah. Sorry, the camping. No, it's not that. But like I just do think it's funny that we're going like to F1 and we're like in a tent. You know? Just feel like it's like yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a different summer, hey, which is exciting. We get to see each other.
I know. No, to be fair, I am so looking forward to it. Like it's going to be such a good summer. I'm so ready to be in London for summer. It's going to be so good.
Yeah, so
I literally
exciting.
can't wait. How are you? How are you feeling? 'Cause you were sick.
Yeah, I think I'm like just about better, which is kind of
Love that for you.
exciting. What else is new in my life? Kind of signed two new clients, I think, over the past week, so that's super exciting.
That's so exciting.
I'm going away this weekend to Somerset. I'm really seeing the UK, guys.
Yeah, God, you really are going for the whole UK travel bit, aren't you? Who are
I
you going to Somerset
know.
with?
Me and the girls are going to Cheddar, and we're going to go see the Gorge, which is like a cave.
Okay, great. Is cheddar where the cheese came from?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but yes, we were going to take my pal who's had her baby like 7, 8 months ago now. We were going to take Finty to the Gorge, which can't come anymore. Sad times. So we're
Oh,
just going to go anyway.
yeah, why not? Fun. How long are you going for?
um, just for the weekend, which would be really
Nice.
nice. But yeah, really ticking off these UK destinations.
Yeah, literally. I don't know who I was talking about, talking to. I don't know who I was talking to about this the other day, but like again, I was saying like I feel like I like really need to do some of Ireland. Like it's actually becoming like I need to do it now at this point.
Yeah, well, I really want to as well. So let me know when you're doing that.
Yeah, great. Well, I guess when I'm home in May, I'm gonna try like I'll have like 3 weekends. One of the weekends, two of the girls I met here, they're from Wexford, but basically right beside the Salty Islands, which is where the
Mm.
puffins and the basking sharks are
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
moment.
amazing.
So I've got a weekend booked in with them while I'm home, which I'm definitely
Nice.
going to do that. And then, yeah, I'm going to do like one or two other things just to like actually see Ireland a little bit while I'm home.
Yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, I just feel like it was actually those girls, like, because one of them got a tent box, like
Oh,
maybe for
great.
last summer, maybe. And she was basically saying, she
Great.
was like, yeah, like her and her girlfriend, like every weekend was literally just go somewhere new. And she was like, yeah, we saw like so much of the country last summer. And I was like,
Mm.
yeah, okay, I like need to do that.
So
Although
I
I don't
really
know
want to
if,
get one.
yeah,
That's my like new
well,
thing.
yeah, I'm surprised you don't have one actually.
I know. Well, obviously I have like a tenant and everything, but I've decided when I get a new car, when this one dies, I'm gonna get a Jeep and then get a tent box on top.
When this one dies, mate, this one's dead. But yeah, wishful thinking, I guess.
So for anyone
There's
that's
still life in
listening,
that one.
I have a car that's literally like on death door, but I just love it so much that I just keep it going.
But I don't know. There's something about a tent box. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's like this sounds really ridiculous, but like sleeping up on the height kind of like unnerves me.
Hmm.
Even though like obviously I
Okay.
sleep on top bunks in hostels, but I don't know. There's something about sleeping on top of my car that just kind of makes me feel weird.
But I guess like well, I wish this my assumption with this is obviously they were created so that you'd be safe like around wild animals wherever they were. But
Oh
obviously
no,
you're
it's
not
not because of
necessarily
the
going to have that.
It's not the wild animals. They
No,
don't
I
bother
know.
me.
Obviously you won't
Oh,
have that in Ireland. You'll just have maybe some like rogue
birds.
humans running around.
Yeah, fair. But no, I don't know. It's something to do with the like I don't know. But then obviously I
They're
know like
so cute.
you also have to be like I know obviously then you've got like a rack. So like it's not like you're sleeping on the roof of the car. I think when I first learned about tent boxes, I thought you were literally on the roof of the car. Well, I mean, how would I to know, you know?
Yeah, fine. And
That's a
they're so
long time ago now.
comfy.
Yeah,
They
so
are
I
so
don't know, we'll
comfy.
see. But yeah, no, I feel like but yeah, sorry, I'm not investing in a tent box because I don't need one. But it's freaking expensive.
I know.
If anybody wants to gift me one, I'll happily take one, but I'm not buying one. But yeah,
Literally.
do definitely want to see more of Ireland, 100%. And I guess the UK, but I realistically won't do that because, like, the whole point of being in London is to stay in London,
Yes, exactly.
not to
Unless
be
obviously
popping
mates
out
want to
every
go away.
weekend.
Unless mates want to go away for the weekend, I feel like you just want to stay there.
Yeah, well, with their kids and or wedding planning going on, probably not.
Yeah, I
You
do
know,
think this summer it's happening somehow. Sorry, hon.
but that's the whole point. I don't want to, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so I leave on. So I leave here on Sunday morning. Like I leave Shargai Sunday morning, and I get to London Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I can't
Like don't get
believe
me wrong.
that.
Like I have like 2 full nights sleep in that. Like I'm only like traveling overnight for one of the nights. Like I'm full night sleep
Oh,
for two.
okay.
Like as in because basically to leave Shargai you have to fly to Cebu. Like
Yeah.
all flights lead to Cebu and then you can go from there kind of. No, but like actually, I think maybe Luzon you can also go to. But anyway, so like and then like so I have to like overnight in Cebu,
Hmm.
and then obviously I've got the overnight in Hong Kong as well. So like it's not too bad, but it does just seem ridiculous that I leave on Sunday and I get to London on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
The joys of
that's
what's going on
okay.
in the world right now.
I know. Especially because I'm seeing loads of people flying through the Middle East at the moment, and I'm like, don't fuck me. Don't know what to
We're
me.
just not talking about that.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, that's me.
So, obviously, today's episode is all about the Philippines, which is where Shireen is right now.
Where I
So
am all of the
obviously,
time.
yeah, so obviously we had an episode that was kind of mostly me last time. Now we're gonna get an episode that's mostly Shireen. So Shireen, take it
Yay!
away.
Okay, so I mean, where do I start? Okay, so obviously Philippines is probably my favorite country in the sense of it's like maybe not necessarily for like a like just to travel, although it is incredible. But like it's a country that I like continuously coming back. I come back to. It's a country that if I was going to base myself in Asia, this would be where I would base myself. And like there's so many reasons for that, but like the vibe in the Philippines is just unmatched in my opinion. Like it's just I don't know, like compared to everywhere else in Southeast Asia, like there's just something really really special about the Philippines. Like I feel like a lot of people love say like if like say like if you do like think of like the Thai Islands for example, or like say like Lombok and stuff. Bali's obviously a bit different, but then like take that and then like bring it to the Philippines. It's just like that bit better. The people are incredible. The beaches are genuinely some of the best beaches in the world. Like they're so beautiful. I would say its biggest downfall is the food. Like I think there is really really good Filipino food, but I would say like it's harder to find good Filipino food, and it's less of a there's less variety of it compared to other places in Southeast Asia. So I'd say that's probably like its biggest downfall. Although it does have incredible mangoes, like voted the world's best mangoes. Like they love their mangoes so much. There's a mango festival in the Philippines every year.
I think you've definitely found the right place, son.
Where people come and it's like a full-on judging panel of mangoes and the world's best mango.
I love.
Yeah, is voted. So yeah, so there's great like fruit and stuff. But yeah, I would say the food is like its biggest issue, but it is such a vibe. So what should I talk about?
So obviously it's a bunch of islands. So like how do people get around?
Yeah. So Philippines is made up of over 7,000 islands. So I would say before even like you think about like getting around, I think the biggest thing to like factor in when you're thinking about the Philippines is that it is 7,000 islands. So you need to be really, really realistic about where you're going to go and getting there. And because it is so many islands, you do end up having to travel quite a bit between the islands to get around. So I think that's definitely like probably like the biggest thing to factor in the Philippines. So as like a first time in the Philippines, there's kind of three areas / places I think that like everybody goes. So the first one is Palawan. So Palawan is one basically big massive island with like a few different destinations in it. But Palawan is where if you've seen content of the Philippines, where you see like the insane beaches, the like limestone big rocks, like the boat bowling on all the rocks. That's all the take like that like more than likely that was Palawan. Palawan is like that's what it's known for. It's known for its insane beaches, limestone rocks, and incredible sunsets. It does get quite touristy. I would say it's probably like the one thing. So on Palawan, the like main locations people go to are the two. Like I would say the biggest one is El Nido, because again that's where you do like all of like the boat trips. And it is cool, but it is like very, very touristy. But out on the water, it is amazing. I would say the water in El Nido is amazing, a lot better than being on land, just because of how busy El Nido gets. And then you have Coron, which I would say, if in my opinion, if you're not scuba diving, and you've spent quite a bit of time on Palawan, I don't think there's any need to go to Coron. Because the main thing to do there, apart from scuba diving, is like a boat tour. But you've probably done quite a few boat tours at this point, and the town itself is not great. Believe me, I know I spent quite a lot of time there last year. The story. But if you are a scuba diver, or a diver of any type, there are insane shipwrecks in Coron. I think there's 13 in total, and I've dove them all now, and some of them are like actually incredible. So if you're into diving, shipwreck diving, Coron is your place to go. And then you have Port Barton, which is a like small town basically, which again has like beaches. What I would say about Port Barton is that like it doesn't have the best beaches compared like of Palawan, but it's a lot quieter. It is more chill. Although compared to when you were there, I don't think it's that chill anymore.
No, unfortunately.
But Yeah, but it is really nice. And then I would say, in my opinion, the highlight of Palawan, which is something that, well, if my Instagram is anything, well, so sorry, the highlight of Palawan, in my opinion, is the Balabac Islands. So it's right down the very, very south of Palawan. And you can only get there. Sorry, I don't think you can only get there. I'm sure you can do it yourself. But if you're going to do it, you do it as a tour. Usually 4 days, 3 nights, and it leaves and returns to Puerto Princesa. They are some of the best islands I've ever seen in my whole life, and that says a lot. I've genuinely never seen anything like it. Onuk Island, which is one of the islands that you stay on, I think it was voted the best island in like 2022 in the whole world.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like it's insane. Now, I was there last year, so this time last year, yeah, like May last year, and when I was there, like I would say there wasn't that many tourists, and the majority of tourists that were there were like local tourists, so other Filipino tourists. And like the woman that like ran the tour company that I was with basically had said to me that like it was only really last year that your non-local tourists find out about Balabac. Now, if my For You page is anything to go by, that is not the case anymore. It seems like the world and its mother now is going to Balabac, which I would again be interested to see. But I still think it is quite a bit of travel to get there. It's quite rough sleeping. Like, I mean, you can upgrade, but like if you just have your basic sleeping, you are just sleeping in very, very basic tents and no, like, very little running water, like all that kind of stuff. So, like, it is basic, but I would say it's like one of my favorite ever travel experiences. Like, it was incredible. Like, do you remember how much I was going on about it last year?
Yeah. It would be interesting to see with Balabac because obviously if like the only way kind of on and off is through these tours, they can obviously limit how many people are going. Now whether they are is a different story. But like technically if they wanted to preserve it, they could.
Yeah, well, what was I found really interesting was when I looked up last year to go, I could only find 3 tour companies that did it when I was like
Right.
Instagramming and searching. And I've seen in the last like month, I've seen like I think about 8 different creators having been there
Wow.
recently, and none of them went with the 3 tour companies that I could find last year.
Wow, okay.
So if that kind of gives you an idea that like it's definitely
Yeah.
get, but like but also like on the island, for example, like there is a limitation on how many people can be on the island at any one time.
Okay.
And like the other thing about it is as well is that it's like a big bunch of islands, Balabac. Like there's a lot of islands in the region, so not everybody go. Like Onuk is the one that like most people will go to. And my biggest thing I would say about that is that if you're doing it, make sure you overnight on Onuk because not all tours are overnight there. And you want to be overnight because basically during the day you get like kind of all the boats coming in, people there. Then from about 4 o'clock, all the day boats have to leave. So at that point, there's only a limited amount of people are allowed to stay on the island then. And then from like 4 o'clock until probably like 9 a.m. the next morning when you leave, you have the whole island to yourself basically, and it is fucking so cool. But there's so many islands, like the different tour companies will go to different islands. So like I like some of the islands that I went to, like I haven't seen other people going to because obviously their tour company, that's not the island. So that's also good. So I would say it's like an absolute must do if you do anything when you're on Palawan. So Palawan is like one big island basically, except for Coron. So like you can do all of it by land, which is quite nice. And like if you're traveling around, it's quite great that you can just like do it all by land. Then the other part of the country that would be like I would say like the most touristy in terms of like people going for their first time is Cebu. So it's a city. Cebu City is a city, but it's also a province. And within that province, there's like quite a bit to do. I would say it's like more like the like adventure side of the Philippines. So like for example, you go like if you ever seen canyoneering in the Philippines, that's in Cebu. If you see like there's like the sardine run, which is like I think the only place in the world that you can do the sardine run all year round. And then you have like different islands as well, like and all the different islands have like different things in them. So the main islands are Bohol, Siquijor, which are like Siquijor is like the witchy island. So it's like quite cool. I haven't been there for a few years, but it is quite cool. Bohol has like the tarsiers, which are like little I don't know what they are, but like a still tarsier sanctuary. It has like the chocolate hills. You can also dive there. Then Malapascua, which is where the thresher sharks are. Which I've obviously been to a couple of times. And if you're a diver, it's an absolute must when you're in the Philippines, like a must, must, must. And then there's another island just off Madagascar that if I was going again, I would probably go to, but I cannot think of the name of it, so I'm gonna have to write it down. And then Wobble, which is where the canyoneering and sardine run is. And from like on like Cebu, you basically get to all of the places by ferry, which can take time. So like I would definitely factor that in. So I feel like they're like the two main areas that people go to. Like obviously there's lots of other islands, so like Camagan Island, Boracay, obviously Siargao are like other popular tourist ones. And I think at the moment, like I'm seeing, because I did we talk about this on the pod, or were we just talking about the Philippines? Like you coming next year potentially?
Off the pod, I think.
Oh, okay. So sorry, we're talking about potentially Abby might end up in the Philippines next year, and I was saying that there's like quite a few islands that I've like only recently heard of from like locals and stuff that I want to go to. That people like kind of some like Filipinos have been saying to me like, oh, go here because it's like you don't have all the tourists, but it's like super super beautiful. So there's like a lot like I would say because it's becoming more touristy as a destination, and people are starting to come here because they're realizing it's actually not that difficult to travel. There's now like there's 7,000 islands, right? So like everybody does tend to go to Palawan or Cebu, and like I understand why, but like I definitely also think like have a look at what other islands there are that potentially you want to go to where it's going to be like a lot quieter, but obviously with quieter means less infrastructure and probably more travel. But I definitely would think worth it if you want those like insane that feeling of like being alone on like a desert island kind of vibes.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess also as well, like the thing with the Philippines being so big and there being so many options is you can literally go to the islands based on exactly what you want to do. And that's the thing that's like, I guess, so unique compared to like every other country in Southeast Asia is that like generally when you go to an island in Southeast Asia, there's like many things that you're going to do there. Whereas like with the Philippines, you can like specifically choose based on like what your interests are, which I think is pretty cool.
100%.
Obviously you briefly mentioned about Filipino food, and I think that one's such an interesting one because like you hear most people saying like when they talk about Filipino food, they're either like, yeah, I don't really know what it is, or it's not very good. Like what is like classic Filipino food? Like what have you tried that you actually
Yeah.
really like and would recommend?
Sorry, just before that, just when you say about sorry, just about flying. What the thing about the Philippines, people always say that you need to plan here really far in advance, which you don't. You can absolutely wing it, and I have winged it plenty of times before. What I would just say is that basically to get anywhere, your options are to fly or to ferry, or sometimes you have to fly because of the distance. If you have a lot of time, like for example, you can ferry from Cebu to Siargao instead of flying. It's like a 12-hour ferry versus a 40-minute flight. So like obviously it's like a have you got more time and less money, or like do you want to kind of get everywhere quicker? But even though you don't need to plan that far in advance, flights get very expensive here very quickly, especially in high season. So just keep that in mind because yeah, they can like I mean just to get off Sharga it can cost a couple of £100 if you don't plan it early enough. And so just to keep that because yeah, I think yeah, you don't need to plan in advance, but you do need to plan the big flights. Okay, so Filipino food, like what is it? So like Filipinos are obsessed with rice. Like you will hear Filipinos say all the time, like more rice, more power. So everything, yeah. So everything is rice. Like they eat so much rice, like so much rice. So yeah, everything is rice. And then so like my favorite Filipino dish is chicken sisig, which is basically like a kind of like slightly spicy chicken dish, which can be made either creamy or slightly like more dry, and like it is really really nice. And then there's like, and I guess the other super popular one that most people hear of is adobo, which is like basically meat with a fried egg. But then you also have um, a lot of soups, like a lot of soups, and like like every day I eat like Filipino barbecue, which is like a huge thing here, which is literally what it says on the tin. Like you literally just rock up to a place and they hand you a plate and you pick out your meat from the barbecue and you eat it with rice. So like I eat that pretty much every day when I'm here. And then the other thing as well is that there's incredible fish. like incredible fish in the Philippines. And usually when you do any sort of tour, you'll get like a really, really nice fish lunch and with like loads of fruit and stuff. So like Filipino food is nice, but I think it can, like I said, it can just be like hard to find decent, and like a lot of it, like you'll find like even in like small like local cafeteria, no, the cafeterias. No, said that word wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Like which is like basically like local like Filipino, kind of like a warung, right? In Indonesia,
Yeah.
same vibe. But like basically it's like just like meat, always green beans and rice. Like it's generally your
Hmm.
options, and like squash. But so yeah, people don't love the food, but like I mean, I like it. But and I will say as well, like especially when you're in like the more touristy places, like there's so much Western food, so much Western
Yeah.
food. And also a lot of like other Asian food. So like
Mm.
you'll have like there's like a really nice Vietnamese coffee shop here. There's like you can get like really good Thai food, like all that kind of stuff. So like other Asian
Mm.
foods rather than just Western food.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I guess obviously they were colonized, and also I feel like because I spent some time in Manila when I was there, and I feel like there was a lot of like Western influence anyway. So I'm wondering if maybe that has had like an impact on the food. But like all the Filipino food I tried was great. I completely agree. It is just harder to find, which I've
Yeah,
never really understood, but it is just harder to find.
no, I completely agree. And I think like most people come to the Philippines having been in Thailand, having been in Vietnam, and it's
Yeah,
just not really fair to compare to like two of
yeah.
potentially the best cuisines in the world, and then you come to the Philippines. Do you know
In
what I
your
mean?
humble opinion.
Well, yeah. But like, do you know what I mean? Like, but like they are like Thai food is some of the best food in the world, and then like
Yeah,
to
no,
go from
it is.
and I will and like with Vietnamese as well, I would also say like it's just so readily available, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You literally find it on
yeah,
street corners.
exactly. So yeah, I would say yeah, that's the only thing with the food.
Obviously, you've as a nomad, any nomads listening, you spent quite a lot of time there as a nomad. Like, where would
Yeah.
be your like destinations of choice if you were gonna kind of set yourself up there for like a month or so?
Um. So from what like from everywhere that I've been, so like I said, so like the thing with the Philippines is that and I think I was talking about this when I was talking about like dive destinations versus surf destinations and
Mm,
like having to learn how to surf because like and it's the same with just like islands in general. Like those smaller, less traveled islands are beautiful and incredible to see as a backpacker, but not so great as a nomad because
mm,
obviously like the services and stuff aren't as good.
mm-hmm.
And like you don't have reliable Wi-Fi, like you don't have reliable electricity, all that kind of stuff, which absolutely fair enough. So I'd say like specifically as a nomad, probably the two places that are the most set up for nomadism. One is El Nido. So again, like it has, and I say set up for nomadism because it has quite a few co-working spaces, and that like the Philippines doesn't necessarily have the most reliable Wi-Fi, and a lot of that is down to not having the most reliable electricity. So co-working spaces, I would say, are pretty important here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, El Nido, and then the biggest nomad place in the Philippines is Siargao, where I am now. And Siargao is an interesting one because, like I always say, you come to Siargao. I think everybody should come to Siargao if you come to the Philippines. But you come to Siargao and you can kind of have anything that you want. You'll find it on Siargao. So if you're a backpacker that wants to get absolutely smashed every night, there's an insane party scene here. If you're somebody that wants to come and just really completely lean into wellness, yoga, breath work, sound healing, all of that good stuff, most incredible scene here. If you want to, there's fucking ice baths popping up all over the shop here. If you're a nomad, there's incredible co-working spaces. The two biggest co-working spaces here are solar powered.
Oh,
So
amazing.
yeah, so no matter what, you will always have electricity and Wi-Fi, which is great. If you want to, obviously, and then obviously Siargao is like the surf place, and like it has one of the best surf breaks in the world. No, it does, it does. I just think it's only at certain times of the year.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry, no, it's not one of the best surf breaks. It's one of the best for competition because of its skill level.
Interesting.
So there's
Okay.
every October there's a competition here at that surf break every year.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and actually I was there today. I wasn't surfing in it today. I was looking at the waves today because the waves were like 10 foot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But I was just looking at because I was supposed to surf there this morning, and then I got there and I was like, "No, that's not happening."
That's
So
not
I was
me.
supposed
That's not for me.
no, I mean there was nobody surfing because like the way it break I don't know, but the way it breaks like literally nobody was surfing it because it's like pretty dangerous.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, so then obviously yeah, so it's like a huge surf island. So I would say if you're a nomad and you want to come here and like properly set yourself up, I would say Siargao is the place to do it. Just because it is the most built and it also has an incredible nomad community.
Mm.
Um, so you'll make other pals, you know.
Great. Safety. That's always one that we like to talk about. How do you feel in the Philippines? Do you feel safe, hon?
Yeah, I would say Philippines is the country in the world I feel the safest in the whole world, like including Ireland, including the UK. I would say the Philippines is the country that I've always felt the safest. I would say, like, if you speak to anybody that has come to the Philippines, like, one of the things that they will always talk about is the locals. Filipino locals are some of the friendliest, smiliest, kindest people you will ever meet. Like, they are truly incredible people. Like, I love them. I love Filipinos so much. Like, they're honestly amazing people. Um, and they're super respectful and very quite like a lot of them are quite religious. But yeah, the locals are incredible, but that does then feed into it being a very safe place. Like both personally, like if I'm coming home at night, like I feel very safe, and also if I'm in a restaurant, I'll like leave my bag and go to the toilet or
Yeah.
go um pay or whatever it is I need to do away from my bag for a minute or two. You know, I like have no issue doing that. I would say it's the kind of place, and you see this a lot in places like this. It's the kind of place where if I left something and it got stolen, I would know it was another tourist. It's that kind of place, you know?
I
And it's,
feel like there's quite a lot of places like that now, though, and that's the thing
yeah,
that I find really sad is that it's always the locals that get blamed, but it is 9 times out of 10 the tourists.
yeah. I would say the one big thing about, and this again is true in all of Southeast Asia, but obviously I'm just hearing about it a lot at the moment, is bike safety, scooter safety, driving here.
Mm.
For a couple of reasons. One, it's very topical at the moment because one of the long-term staff in my co-working space died last week in a motorcycle accident.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah. So it's like so we've had like the memorial and stuff this week. So um, it's like obviously like top of mind, but like it does happen quite a lot, especially like all in all of the tourist destinations. But obviously I've spent so much time in Shanghai at the moment that I'm like and there's certain hotspots. And the biggest thing here is that like is there's no law that you have to wear your helmet. So people don't, and people end up with brains on the road. And there
Mm-hmm.
is certain people that drive like fucking lunatics here.
Mm.
Um, uh, I've nearly seen a couple of accidents from this one nationality that have nearly caused them recently.
Mm.
And because they drive like absolute lunatics. And then the other thing as well here is that a lot of people drink and drive, both local and tourists. So I would say scooter safety is probably the thing that like I'd be most concerned about when it comes to safety in the Philippines.
And would you say like the island has got busier?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, so if you've like ever looked into Siargao, everybody will say to you, General Luna is where to go, and I don't completely disagree, but I think if you want to come to Siargao and enjoy it, you do not want to stay in General Luna because you will hate it, right? And General Luna, like as a kind of area, is basically just like one long strip, which has basically now become like what's called Tourism Road, but it's now become like the main strip, and it's so busy. Like I won't go there at night unless I'm going
Mm.
out. I won't go there during the day either unless I have to. Like because like my gym's there, for example. But like I wouldn't spend time there. It is so busy. It's so overwhelming. If you're driving, it can be so hectic. Um, but it is like where like a lot of the things are. So like instead of that, I would always say like stay up kind of around where, again, if you're researching this, these names will make sense, but like where like Cloud9 or Katagan is, that's where I always stay because it is just that like it's quite close to the center, but it's not in it. But yeah, like since last time I was here was like end of May, beginning of June last year, and I literally drove like I was like driving or like went for a little drive like when I first got here, and I was like new, 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 like
Oh,
literally
wow.
like the amount of businesses that are popping up that are like brand new.
Mm.
One of the guys here, he's a tour guide, and I was saying it to him, and he was like, "Babes, like I leave for 2 or 3 weeks, and I notice a few of them popped up in that much time."
Wow.
Yeah. And what I'm noticing is that like where General Luna is like now, kind of the villages or towns more north of General Luna. Like one of them is like where I am, where my co-working is, and they're starting to get busier as well. Like as in like this, like
Mm.
they're starting to build businesses here. People are starting to stay out of General Luna because it is so intense.
Mm.
So yeah, it is getting busy, and like I think it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few years because there's a few. I mean, the like with what like everything that's going on in the world, like Siargao has immediately gotten so much more expensive because it is very very isolated, and like fuel here has doubled since I've been here.
Mm.
And which I know is happening all over the world, but because and like I'm just talking about Siargao because it is quite isolated. I think things here are going to get I think it's going to get really really expensive to get here. So I think it's
Yeah.
going to be really interesting, probably a few years for Siargao because it's been on such a growth that I just don't like. I just wonder now, will it be affected? Will people still just pay it, or like what's going
Is
to
it
happen basically?
sustainable? Yeah.
Yeah, and how much is going to start to sprawl, you know?
Mm.
Which is just interesting.
Mm. Anything else you think that's worth talking about? I guess like favorite. Well, we kind of talked about your kind of favorite islands, but favorite like locations.
Um, Yeah, I feel like we kind of have spoken about them really. Like, why would like if we like not favorite, but what I will say is so both Cebu and Manila obviously are the two big cities here that you like fly in and out of. I would say like you really don't need to spend that much time in them.
Yeah.
And it's like both like the first time I came to Cebu, first time I came to the Philippines and I was in Cebu, like I hated it. Like I felt really, really unsafe. I
Mm.
don't feel like that anymore because I understand it a little bit better now. But I can also understand you feel it, like people coming and feeling like that. And Manila's the same. Um, like a lot of people go to Manila and do feel really, really unsafe. And like I do completely understand why. So I would say like yes, you potentially need to come in and out of them, but you don't like need to spend any time there. It's not like other potentially big cities where you want to like really see the city. And like there is obviously things to see, but like I don't think it's always necessarily needed. With Cebu and Manila. What else? I would say some.
Visas?
I guess like so you get 30 days on arrival, and there's 150 countries that are included in that 30-day on arrival. So obviously always check that your country is, but there's 150, so I'm gonna like I'm assuming most of the listeners here will be, but obviously always check it. So you get 30 days visa on arrival. You don't need to do anything beforehand. You do need to. There is a pre-entry form that you need to fill out. It's an app. If you just Google it, it'll come up, and it's basically just like they just like log everybody coming in and out of the country. But you do need to show that when you get here. So do that before you get here, and then 30 days visa on arrival, and then it's very easy to extend for a further 29 days. You just go to any immigration office, or you can also do it in the airport, so like right beside Manila and Cebu airports. So if you're flying in, you can just do it straight away if you know for sure you're going to stay. Yeah, like the big cities have immigration offices, and Siargao has an immigration office. Like I extended my
That's
visa here, and it took
interesting.
oh yeah, I extended my visa here, and it took me like literally 15 minutes. Took
Love
me
that.
longer to took me longer to fill out the form than it did for her to stamp my passport, like to approve it. So
Excellent.
yeah, it's quite easy to extend your visa. It is a cash first country, and so there's a couple. Well, so firstly, hold on, I'm gonna look. Did you know there's this app? Sorry, I have to find the name of it. Called ATM Fee Saver. Have you heard about this app?
No.
Okay, so I saw it on Steph My Life's Instagram a few weeks ago. And basically, it's an app, and you like, hold on, I'd love to actually just for it at
Yeah.
work. You basically put in the countries that you're going to, and it will tell you the best ATMs to use and how much the fee is.
Amazing.
It's called I'll put it in the show notes. It's called ATM Fee Saver. So firstly, everybody, regardless of where you're going in the world, download that app. Anyway, the thing with ATMs in the Philippines are that the majority of them are, if you're in like kind of like the tourist destinations, are Euronet, and they charge 300 pesos to take money out, and the maximum you can take out is 10,000 pesos, which is about 150 euro. There are other ones with like slightly lower, but around 200 is the norm. And I'm sorry, 200 pesos to take out the money. So it's always just worth taking out 10,000 at a time. If you're in the tourist destinations though, like you will find that the ATMs run out of money quite quickly. So just be prepared that you potentially need to like check a few ATMs before, like, and also like, for example, again, if I use Tragao as an example, I would never try to go to General Luna to get money out because the ATMs are never going to have money there. Like, and the same with El Nido, like the main street, the ATMs just never have money because they're just so touristy. Like, unless you literally happen to catch it like as the money's been put in. So yeah, so just and then another thing with the ATMs here, a lot of people have the same issue with. Sometimes you'll put your card into the ATM, and like majority of the ATMs are like, which I like, are like the ATMs where you put your card in and doesn't take it. You know what I mean? But it'll say I can't read your card. So there's a lot of the ATMs you have to put in twice or three times before it reads your card for no reason. Right. I have no idea why, but it's just good to know. Like, don't put your card in, it says that, and then off you go. Try it 3 times, and then if it's still not working, then it's not working.
These are the checks people need.
Because otherwise you will literally just spend your whole life looking for ATMs where you don't even need to be. And that's ATMs, money, safety, food, traveling, favorite experiences. Yeah, if you're a diver, the best places to dive here are Malapascua is the best, I would say. Sorry, so no, that's such a lie. There's a place called Tugonin. I'm going to put it in the show notes. Reef, that you can only do as part of liveaboard, and I've never done it just because it fucking costs a lot of money. Not a lot of money, but you know, that's the best diving. But if you want to just go for like day dives, Malapascua is amazing. You've got the treasure sharks, but you've also got a place called Gato Island, which is some of the best diving I've ever done for like more like macro things, which is like smaller things. Coron is where all the shipwrecks are. And then there's also like good diving in lots of other places. So like in Bohol, the area like of Panglao has pretty good diving. You can dive in mobile, but like for the sardine run, you don't need to dive because they are literally touching the water base or touching the like there's so many of them you don't need to dive it. But you can do. But on the other hand, one of I would say like the biggest things with traveling in the Philippines is please be so conscious if you're going to try see whale sharks here. Yeah, I know I've spoken about it before, but I'm going to talk about it again because it is a huge thing. So in Cebu there is one of the biggest attractions, and you will be offered it left, right, and centre, is whale shark, either snorkeling or diving. It's in an area called Oslob, and it is extremely unethical. The feeding that goes on there is insane, and if you put it into anywhere, you'll see all the whale sharks are completely straight upright because they're like looking for food constantly, and they have like the natural migration pattern in that area has been completely fucked, and there's reports of like whale sharks getting tumors and stuff because they're in the wrong position for so often because they're trying to be fed. And if you are somebody that has an argument that, you know, about what would the locals do with their livelihood if they didn't do this for the fishermen and so on, there has been research companies have tried to come into Cebu and have tried to complete so if I explain properly. So on Palawan, you can ethically see whale sharks because and there's another place as well, I can never remember, like near Botswana, which is near Manila. And basically, a few years ago, this I can't think of the name of the company came into the Philippines. They basically look after like whale sharks, manta rays, all that kind of stuff. That's their like area of expertise. And they basically were like, right, we're gonna help you stop whale shark feeding, but they trained the people that were making money off whale sharks up in how to run tours ethically, and to make sure they're still making a livelihood. And they are very active on that still today. So I did a whale shark tour on Palawan last year. Didn't see any whale sharks, and the research company was on the boat with us, and this is how I got like a lot of that explanation. But the thing is, they offered the same thing in Cebu, and the mayor of Cebu said, no, we don't want that. We want to continue the practice as is. So they have been offered help to change it so that their income and stuff is not affected. They've just chose to say no because it's, I don't know why. So please don't go to Oslo. Please don't do whale sharks in Cebu. And if you're going to do them anywhere in the Philippines, be very, very hyper vigilant about where you do it, and like really do some research into it. And same goes with animal encounters in general. If there's feeding, it's not ethical, and that is it. There is no ifs or buts. If you have to feed the animals, it's not ethical. That's whale sharks. What else? Anything else? I feel like
I think we might have covered all our bases.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like to finish on something a little happier than whale sharks, though. Whale shark feeding.
Top 3 reasons why you love the Philippines.
Oh, okay. So the people are definitely one of the reasons. Like, people here are just incredible, and so friendly. I would also say, like, compared to other countries that I've been to in general, but like if I just use Southeast Asia, like I find the in the Philippines, there's a lot more mixing between locals and tourists, or like
Amazing.
locals and non-locals. So like you have a lot of people that like just people that are like here longer term, and like a lot of their friends are Filipino, rather than just being other Westerners. And there's a lot more of that like integration, which I think is great, rather than it just being like Westerners with Westerners and Filipinos with Filipinos. You don't get that everywhere else. Yeah, I agree. But what is really, really funny, so in Siargao, it's like known as like the Siargao curse. And the Siargao curse originally is actually just like you come to Siargao, you love it so much and you don't leave. But as more recent, the Siargao curse has become you come to Siargao, you take a surf lesson and you fall in love with your surf instructor. And here, like the male surf instructors are like very, very flirty, like very flirty, and which is why I have a female surf instructor, because I just like was like, well, because so last year when I came here, basically I had just like left a not great situation seeing somebody, and I came here and I was like, I really want to surf, but like I actually can't deal with Filipino boys flirting with me right now. So I know it's trying to be headed, but like they flirt with everybody. And our friend Alistair was like, I've got a female surf instructor, and I was like, give me immediately. But yeah, you'll see like driving around here, like a lot of Filipino men, like all surfers with like Western women. And I just think it's like quite funny. And then like there's like quite a lot of like, if you're on Siargao TikTok, you will see like horror stories of like,
oh really?
Yeah, because like all the surfer boys are like fucking shagging everyone, and like there's like stories of like, so many stories of they actually really have like a wife or a baby, or like stories of like we were together for like 2 months, but actually he was also with 3 other locals or 3 other Western girls at the same time.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I find it so funny. So please be careful of the Siargao boys, because they will get you. But no, sorry. So Filipino people are definitely one of the reasons. I would say like the water here, like there's you will spend more time in water than you will spend out of it if you're doing the Philippines right, and that for me is literally heaven. So whether that is like island hopping and like snorkeling, which you can literally do pretty much anywhere from like just like a beach here. But then you also but then like obviously also there's like incredible surfing, there's incredible diving, both scuba and free. You can, and then there's like, we can do like wakeboarding here. There's like canyoneering, which is obviously in the water. Like there's so many like water-based activities here, and that it is like incredible. So that's like one of the reasons. And then I don't know what it is. Like there is just a vibe in the Philippines, and I feel like it's a vibe that everybody just needs to come here and experience because it's incredible. And like I can never really put my finger on what it is, but like when you get to the Philippines, you'll just feel it. Like you just feel better. Like everything just like feels happier in the Philippines, and I just love it. And I'll never stop coming back here. And yeah, I would love potentially to like have a base here. But who knows? Not me. More on that, I'm sure.
Who knows? Who knows? The world's our
Yeah,
oyster.
literally. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything on the Philippines. I know that was like a lot, but obviously, if you've got any questions, just message me because I love it. I love talking about it, and no doubt I'll be back as soon as possible. But yeah, if you've got any questions, obviously, just let me know. But yeah, apart from that, I think that's all right.
That's it. Do you want to wrap
So
it up?
thank you so much for listening to me babble on all about the Philippines. And please like, subscribe, share with all your travel best friends, all that good stuff. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.